Making games with AI is no longer a conversation about the future. All the tools we need already exist, and you can already use them to build real, playable projects. Not just beautiful scenes that only look good in a video, but actual games you can open, play, and use to test whether your idea works. In 5 days, I built a small Diablo clone. Of course, it is still far from the real Diablo, but it is already a complete, playable prototype. There is a town where you can talk to NPCs and receive quests. From there, the player can enter dungeons, fight enemies, collect new items, and develop the character. The skill tree already works, and the individual mechanics are connected into one gameplay loop. It is still very rough. A lot of things need to be fixed, and I will definitely rebuild some parts. But 5 days ago, this project did not exist at all. And for me, the most interesting thing here is not even the game itself. It is how quickly it appeared. In the past, a large part of those 5 days would have gone into setting up the project, choosing the architecture, and building the basic systems. Now, part of that work can be passed to AI agents. This does not mean that you can simply tell an agent to make Diablo for you and collect a finished game a few hours later. Unfortunately, it is still not that easy. If you give an agent a task that is too large and leave it without supervision for too long, it can easily produce a huge amount of code that looks convincing but does not work well together. I have already gone through this several times, and then I spent more time fixing everything than I saved through generation. So now I work differently. First, I give the agent a small and clear task. Then I test the result inside the game, and only after that do I continue development. This is not magic, and it is not game development with one button. It is normal development. Part of the work just happens much faster. Because of this, you can test an idea after a few days instead of waiting several months. If the mechanic turns out to be boring, you can simply throw it away without regretting all the time you spent on it. If it works, you can continue developing the project. But AI was only one part of my experiment. The second important part was the choice of technology. And here I have an opinion that not everyone will like. For this kind of fast development, I would not choose Unity today. Unity is still a powerful engine, especially for large projects with an established production process. But when you need to test an idea quickly, the editor and its internal processes start slowing down the work. You change the code, wait for the project to update, check the result, make another change, and wait again. When you repeat this hundreds of times, even a small delay starts to seriously affect the overall pace. So, for this project, I chose a web stack. Right now, the web is ahead again, because it gives you a very short path from changing the code to seeing the result on the screen. I use TypeScript together with Three.js. The agent works with normal files, clearly sees the project structure, and can make changes quickly. After saving, the result appears in the browser almost immediately. That means every idea can be tested almost instantly. But Three.js has an obvious downside. It is not a complete game engine. It is a rendering library. It provides a strong foundation for graphics, but many game development problems still have to be solved by the developer. As the project becomes more complex, problems with performance, resource loading, and final bundle size quickly appear. This becomes especially noticeable on mobile devices. That is exactly why I created my own web starter kit. Its purpose is not to create the game instead of the developer. It provides a solid technical foundation that lets you start working quickly. I already solved many of the problems that usually take up a lot of time at the beginning of every new project. Because of this, I do not have to rebuild the infrastructure again before moving on to gameplay. AI also works better when the project already has a clear structure and clear rules. It was on this starter kit that I built my Diablo clone. In 5 days, it did not become a finished game, but it became complete enough to actually play and test further ideas. For me, this is a good example of how game development is changing right now. AI does not replace the developer, and it does not make every decision for them. It speeds up the path from an idea to a working prototype. The developer still needs to understand what they are building, how the systems should work together, and why the player should find it interesting. So, making games with AI is no longer a technology of the future. It is a normal working tool that you can use today. Yes, it still makes mistakes. Yes, the results need to be checked constantly. But the speed of development has already changed completely. I will leave a link to my web starter kit in the description. You can use it as a foundation, adapt it to your project, and try building your own game much faster than was possible before.